Good afternoon and welcome to Tech Talk. And this week, Kingsley is not with us, but we will still cover tech news and some of the social media issues of the day. So stay tuned. Glad you could stay with us. I'm Mike Thompson here with D. Wayne Rigsby.
Thank you, Mike.
Of
There's a
Ohio
little
State.
frog in my throat today.
Yeah.
The
So-
wonderful allergies.
It is May of 2019, and we're going to go over some of the current news, a lot of it being social media related. And one of the first things I ran across was Apple and the App Store being, I guess the Supreme Court let them open a case for monopolizing app sales.
So you're saying they could change and set prices higher or lower, obviously, but
Yeah,
you usually don't get that.
the way I understand it is the developers kind of set a price. I don't know if Apple adds 30%, but Apple does take 30% of the cost of
Of the app.
the app. But Apple does business a little bit different than a lot of places, and that's been their history from the beginning of Macintosh. Is it's kind of a closed system, and they vet all of the hardware and all of the software to make sure it's a stable system and it is, reliable, and there's no exploits. So when you put in an app to the App Store, it gets vetted. So there's a team of engineers that will look at it and test it to make sure there's no exploits that will release your information so your phone stays secure and it doesn't crash it. And other stores will just, we'll put your app out there, and then when we get enough complaints, then we'll look into it and take it down. So it's a little bit more of a free-for-all on the other things, but that's been Apple's history, which I don't see a problem with that personally.
Do you find that when if you're talking about the pricing, the individual or maybe a group that built that app, do you think that you're going to see the pricing go up? Is that what you're thinking, or are they offering its higher price because this app has been vetted, it's been secured, it's going to work?
I don't know
Or
how
is it a
the
combination
other
of both?
business model with the Androids and stuff, do they get a cut of the price?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not sure if it's the 30% that Apple charges,
Yeah.
but the Apple people do look into it before it goes for sale. And I don't know that apps cost that much. I may have paid $15 maybe at the most.
For one particular kind of app.
Yeah, that would be like a photo editing app that's pretty deep.
Yeah,
Not just something that makes hotel reservations or something.
right.
Those might be $3 to $5,
Yeah.
which I don't see that that's cost prohibitive. And I don't know that you could say that they are a monopoly. They don't have a monopoly of the phone market.
Okay.
If you don't like it, you could get an Android
Yeah,
or Google device or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Basically, if you're not iOS, you're Android.
Okay.
In a nutshell, even though you say it could be Google, it could be that Google phone or that Android phone, them same apps usually work on those.
Okay.
But not necessarily the iOS.
Right.
So you'll find those higher. I'm not going to say higher. Just those apps that are higher price, maybe in iOS, can that app be found in an Android version, and is it cheaper? Those are things that we just now talked about, and we're gonna look at it later and see if that is the case.
But that's the same reason why not the only reason that I go towards Mac as my home computer is because it's stable. It's secure, and you know, I haven't had any problems with it really.
Right.
You know, it's not as open architecture as a PC is, and that I appreciate, and I do pay more for it.
Right. But you also what you do a lot is photos, videos, and things like that, and it just seems like those Apple products are more built and designed more for those applications.
It optimizes
Yeah.
the processing. You know, I use Final Cut, which is an Apple product, so
Right.
they design it for their machine.
For their machine, and that machine you can't get Final Cut for a PC.
Right.
You know, so you have to use some alternative. You know, it would be
It's Adobe.
yeah, across the board. You know, it'd be interesting to see, just like a Microsoft product. I think you can get Word for an iOS, right?
Right.
And then you can get Word for PC. You know, when we go back to those apps, are we talking? Is Word for an iOS more expensive than Word for a PC or an Android?
Yeah.
You know, those are what you're talking about. Is they make sure that app works and doesn't crash or have malware in it
Right.
for that Apple device. They do not for the Android device. Only if somebody.
But you can
complains,
load
typically.
anything you want, and still is at your own risk.
Yeah, exactly.
And I run into that in the same thing with the Mac desktop. Is hey, you downloaded an app that's not from the App Store, so
Yeah.
if it messes you up,
They warn you
Right.
with those things.
Right.
Yeah.
do you still want to run this? Because we don't know about it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right.
well, okay.
Yeah, let's do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's be brave.
You can
Let's
do
move
that,
forward.
but not necessarily
Let's
on
go forward.
the phone.
Absolutely. What's your other top? What's the next one there?
Alexa Guard,
Ah,
which is Amazon. Is it Amazon Alexa?
Amazon is
Your
Alexa.
Echo devices can kind of watch over your house. And I'm sure they can probably be tied into
Yeah.
things, but your Echo listens to you. And when you leave the house, you tell Alexa, I'm leaving. So then it turns on its ears like it ever had them off.
Right.
But now it's listening for things, and it triggers on smoke alarms, glass breakage, your CO2 alarm, and things, and it will contact you and tell you, hey, your fire alarm went off.
Went off.
And so it's up to you then to call 911. If you do have a security system like
ADT.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's it.
We'll get those letters right in a minute.
I didn't want to go
That's
ADP
just the one you see.
because that's
Yeah, that's another
something
company.
else. But if you have ADT, then you can hook it up with that, and they will call
So they mix.
right.
Okay. So what we're saying is Alexa is now becoming not only a home knowledge base, if you would, but also home security, or it can be, and it can be built with either a
Probably
a paid
alongside
service or not.
of cameras and stuff, I would
Yeah.
imagine.
So what do you own one, Mike? I don't remember.
We unplugged it a while ago
You unplugged. That's right.
because
You-
I didn't
you-
want it
you didn't
listening
like
to me
hearing.
all day long,
Okay.
and well, it was triggering on stuff that the TV was saying too.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, when people will say Alexa on TV. Oh, sorry. If you have one right there, I probably just triggered it. That name, it'll start talking, and I have one, and there was a commercial that talked about pizza, and it asked me if I wanted to order pizza for sure. So that's the cool part of it. But now, so the other piece to the Alexa is, it looks up stuff and plays games with you and things like that. So how do they turn it into, other than just saying, okay, now listen for everything? You were talking about
Glass breakage
Yeah,
and-
glass breakage and stuff. How do they know? Usually you just have that one little puck or the tall piece. What happens if the glass breaks in 2 rooms over? It may not hear it. Are they going to start having these extra? Maybe you're going to buy an
One
Alexa.
in the bedroom and one in the living room.
Have a puck in every room now, maybe.
Yeah.
Could
No
be.
thanks.
Yeah.
We had a question,
Yeah.
what happens when the electric goes off on Alexa?
Oh,
I don't guess it would work because you still need a network,
you would need a network. You
I'm
would need
sure
some
unless
form of
you-
a backup. To it.
unless you have a battery backup. I don't think it would work.
You would, well, yeah, correct. You would need you would need some kind of alternate power to Alexa. Then you would need alternate power to your router and switch if you got that, or wireless router. And then you still have to rely on is your provider up and running, or what did it affect your provider? A lot of times when the power goes out, typically a cable, you lose your TV as well. So, you know, so we've where I live at, we've been out of power, and we'll plug in a generator. We have an alternate generator, and you can turn the TV on, but there's nothing on it.
Right.
And
Unless you got an antenna or something.
right, you could bring in an antenna. So a lot of times we would play a DVD or something like that we could hook up that was only internal to thing, until all of a sudden power came on, and then all of a sudden, a few seconds, boom, the cable come back in. So, yeah.
Okay, Facebook. This is a deep one. The FTC, Federal Trade Commission, is looking at a multi-billion-dollar fine for security fails. This was triggered by the Cambridge Analytica thing of, I think, 2016 or
Yeah.
17, where they, I guess, sold information. It's not like I didn't know that they were going to do that with my information.
Yeah, we're half of the other companies around the world. Yeah.
Right. You know, you do stuff on a lot of different places, and you just know that they have your shopping habits and everything else. But
Now, is this where they're calling to possibly try to split up Facebook? Now,
Yeah.
wasn't it the one of the people that invented Facebook? He's the one that's calling to split up too. Right?
Yeah.
He's saying that they're too big and
well,
have too much power, right?
I believe that is true. They do have kind of a monopoly on, you know, that service, and they have other services like Snapchat that they do own. And it's a problem when one guy owns the share and he imposes his own personal thoughts and will on all the users. You know,
So not only will he impose it on Facebook, now they're going to be able to control Instagram and of what people may see
Snapchat
first,
and other things.
or all these things.
right.
So taking those away, kind of like the federal government, when they have to go through all the process if two communications groups kind of want to one buy the other, right? You know, like maybe an AT&T
Well, that
buys
happened
a-
too. I think Hulu.
Yeah, actually Hulu wanted to split off, right? After
think
a while?
Did Disney or Comcast buy Hulu? And then NBC they're looking at a few years that NBC stuff will maybe go off Hulu.
Yeah. They're talking about losing, yeah.
I just don't like the idea of all these companies basically becoming one.
Yeah.
You know, there goes competition.
So that means the prices are going to go up, right? Typically?
Usually that's what
Usually.
happens.
And then you don't have an option. You have to pay the price to make that work. So,
But to me, it goes without saying that Facebook and any of these companies should keep your information secure unless you've signed a I don't care agreement that,
Right.
share my whatever. But,
has anybody
me,
ever
the-
read
the-
that great big long agreement when you go create an account?
oh yeah.
You know, that's got to be in there. You know, you got to give up your home and 3 of your first kids or whatever, maybe, I don't know. And let them name your dog, maybe, I think. I think that's in there too.
But the bigger issue for me is First Amendment rights.
Okay.
I am very, if you say liberal on that, it may be more of a conservative stance now, but liberal being not the party, but liberal being very wide berth
Right.
is for the First Amendment speech. I would let anybody say basically anything as long as they don't say, go kill this person or,
Right.
incite some sort of violence on somebody. But if you hold any type of view, I think you should be able to express it. And Facebook and Twitter and some of those have deplatformed people and YouTube for holding certain political views, usually right-leaning views.
But do you think, Mike, that there's some groups or organizations out there that's what they want? They want they want to they want this to happen, whether it's I'll just use some weird name like Taliban. They want to kill people, or, and you don't want to get their opinions, do you? Or do you want you want to hear it because that's what they're going to say? They want to, or not.
If I want to know what
Or even we talked about all these different now all the
fringe
names,
groups,
things, all these names escape me. That
like
that's
KKK
not
or whoever,
like
or the
that's
Aryan Brotherhood or something.
Yeah, you want to hear the information that they have, but what everybody
I don't like the idea
as,
that they're like going to try and recruit people.
Right.
But I don't want them going underground and not being able to use we're being tread upon by the man, whoever the man seems to be, and playing the victim and also using that to recruit.
I don't know. I
would rather see what they're doing and what their stances are so that we can combat that and maybe put out other information that is better than that. And educate people better than what these people are. Mm-hmm. But I think everybody should have a say.
But I agree to most of it. Mm-hmm. When you go that far, you also are going to have people that say, well, that's a good thing. And
what's a good
you're
thing?
saying you're going to say you say what you want to do to combat that, maybe. Well, who's saying to combat that? Maybe. There could be a group that says, well, that's a good thing to do. Well, no, that's a bad thing to do. Mm-hmm. So now you're still going to have that struggle of who's the man or who's the person or who's the group that's going to rule the world.
Right.
Rule it. So we're always going to have this.
Yeah.
We're always going to have this.
But
And it's always going to be, whether it's going to be called fake news or whatever.
Yeah. But
I
don't like the idea that
so.
they are trying to form the public opinion, by only letting certain voices be heard. Mm-hmm. And there was another story, too, about Twitter will direct any vaccination questions to credible sources.
Yep. Who's the credible source?
Who's saying what the credible source is?
Right. Maybe
that's the danger.
Maybe you're real knowledgeable on one particular vaccination. Why aren't the calls coming to you or the tweets coming to you?
They'll just here's the government source.
Right.
Well, a lot of us don't really trust the government.
Maybe they don't. Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess.
Because I feel the same way. Maybe this is my tinfoil hat coming out, but fluoride in the water. I don't agree with fluoride in the water.
Fluoride don't. Okay. Well,
there's a lot of other things in the
good or bad
in the environment that are bad for your health, but daggone it, we care about your teeth.
Yeah. Well, I guess they got to do what they got to do, and even if it's worry about your teeth or worry about
fluoride is in mental things that change your brain. It's sort of a sedative type of a thing.
Yeah.
So
I understand.
I
want to go along with that, and it's not only that, but why do we help a lot of people overseas? Mm-hmm. Not in our country. We have people starving.
Why are we sending millions of dollars all over the place?
Yeah, we have the same problems right here. Mm-hmm. Why do we not try to combat that more than try? But everybody sees that we're the U.S. is the big dog, and they go to them for help or aid. So,
yeah.
Even though we're in debt.
And then some countries will just send them our freedom bombs.
Okay.
All right. So
next one.
Next thing, Google Shopping. I don't know
Google
if they're
Shopping.
trying to go up against Amazon.
Yeah.
But if you search something, supposedly, I haven't done a huge amount of research on this, you can shop for things and pay for things. I think Google has some way of paying for things.
Yeah, Google Pay.
Google Pay.
Yep.
And so you can search for things, and you could have things coming from 5 different retailers. You pay Google, Google makes the orders, and they all come to your house.
So what you're saying is they're becoming a third party. They're the
go-between.
They're the go-between.
We
They're the third party.
connect you with whatever.
Yeah. So they're playing an Amazon as you would, because you can sell things on Amazon as a third party seller, but you're buying you go to Amazon to buy from, George over there or Fred or whoever it may be.
And
that's
Amazon
making it.
and Google track what you're doing. Hey, you've been looking for handbags. You're
True.
a big handbag guy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But now, how
But
is that different?
then that comes up in your search results on the little thing, ads on the sides and all that. So I mean, they're all tracking things.
All everywhere, Amazon, the whole 9 yards. So do you think that Google's trying to start competing more with Amazon now?
Probably.
Where Amazon, or not Amazon, Google was, that search engine competitor.
They went in
Do
again-
they have a competitor now in search engines? I don't know as they really do.
Well, not anybody as big as them.
No,
but
no,
there
yeah.
are competitors,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I use
Yeah.
just to keep my.
Right, I understand. Try to keep your information as secure as possible.
Right.
That's like that DuckDuckGo and things like that. But it would be really interesting to hear, to do a survey and put out there, do you use Google or do you use DuckDuckGo? I'm going to say that 99% of them will say, what's DuckDuckGo?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And so there's really no competitor to Google or to Google search engine now. Their only thing now is to take over more of the other stuff. Amazon's gotten too big. That's kind of, even, you can buy food off there. You can buy whatever. You can buy all.
I
of your
worry more
key-
about the mom and pop stores with that. I mean, it's
I
just like
agree.
Walmart coming
Yeah.
into little towns.
Yeah, true.
And now Walmart's probably going to well, they're trying to compete too.
They're trying to change. Yeah,
That
matter of fact,
was
they're
another
competing with
story I
Amazon.
saw.
Yeah.
Where they're trying to get into the Amazon kind of thing.
They are already doing it with one-day delivery. The new stuff they're doing, one-day delivery, free one-day delivery.
Wonder if that comes from the local store.
in San Francisco, I think, or one of the California places. So, and speaking of California, what
San
was
Francisco.
what's our story on that one?
San Francisco did something good, and they banned facial recognition and license plate readers. Which these facial recognition things, because the cameras along the street corners and
Yeah.
stores and everything else, when they see you coming, scans your face, it puts your ID with you, and then it can track you like all day long. It's like, well, you've been here, 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 and here.
So how does this affect? Again, I'm going to use Walmart because I just notice it all the time because that's really the only store around me. Is that they have a facial recognition in the store? Yeah.
Okay.
And you. And it's really interesting. There'll be a little picture up here, a little TV display, and you'll see it like 10 feet in the air, and you'll hear it go ding as you go through. And what it is it recognized you, because I've went through it and put a hat on and stuff, and I know I walked by it, and it didn't make a noise. So they know who's going into the food aisles, or I see it more in the grocery side, but they are all over the store. And they'll know that, Dwayne is buying a gallon of milk, or he's in the frozen section 6 times out of 10 every time he comes here.
And should we dispatch the police if Dwayne goes and gets a shovel, a tarp, and some rope and some duct tape?
Exactly. What would be the things like that?
And call the wife.
Yeah. So does that get banned as well? Because that's really facial recognition, but they're using it more. They're not using it to hunt people down like what you're talking about. They're using it for targeting their products or
San
their
Francisco?
areas.
Oh, wow.
No,
Walmart
I'm
is.
talking about the store.
Okay.
So
I would
I'm
say
sure
that
there's
that's
stores
out.
that do that too. So does that ban that too? I don't know. I would like to look at that in more detail.
And that goes
I've
along
seen
with,
that with-
you know, another scary thing. If you want to get scared and see what's going on in the world, look up China and social credit.
Social. Oh yeah.
They're, you know, depending on the type of websites you go to, the things you view on YouTube, and products you buy, and basically your whole habits. And even other people could maybe give you a bad review on something, and
Right.
this affects your ability to like get travel. Can you buy a plane ticket? Can I rent a house? Well, you don't have a good enough social credit or social media credit score
Social
for me
score. To give you a
rent
top
you a
seat or
house.
whatever. Yeah.
So, you know, if you can't do business, and, you know,
Or what you're saying is you can't
YouTube
rent this
and some
high
of these
class
other
house, but you can.
places-
I'll let you rent this lower class house. or whatever.
right, some of these other
Yeah.
tech companies are deplatforming people and taking away their income because they don't like their speech.
Interesting.
And that prevents them from making a living
Yeah.
and carrying out business. And so I don't like the slippery slope into the social credit score
Yeah.
area like China has gone. So,
So
San
you're-
Francisco, that was a good move in the right
to
direction.
take that out.
Right.
So while we're talking about dinging people and things, we got one article about Facebook
One strike
imposing.
policy.
Yeah. So what do you think about that? If
only
again,
got a minute and a half.
there's some a real quick thing. So somebody's judging you. So if you think that if you put up a link and it may go to some maybe not a credible group, we'll call it, but you think it's okay, somebody, the man, the group, the whoever is dictating, oh, nope, you can't do that. So we're going back clear to that beginning of our topic we started with.
Right. And the one strike policy against live streaming came out of the New Zealand massacre that happened at the
Right.
several mosques, because the guy
Yeah.
went live, and so they
Yeah.
don't want that to happen
They don't
again.
want
So
that
there's fines, and you're going to be kicked off, or you can't stream. But
As
the
we
people
talked
that
about
do that, you know,
Chances are
mass
they're gonna
murder
they're
and
gonna go
stream
to-
it,
Yeah.
you won't be available to the public to
Yeah.
use Facebook anyway.
Right. You're either going to be in jail, incarcerated,
Been
where
shot.
you can't, shot, or most
You'll be
cases
dead or
like
locked
that.
up.
Yeah.
So,
So you're not going to be able to get to Facebook anyway.
yeah, find me all you want. I'm in
Yeah.
jail.
Yeah. So,
So I
that
don't
was
know.
that was interesting topics.
Yeah, I don't know where that's gonna mean a lot, but you know, it's a scary place out there, and just keep
Yep.
yourself as private as possible, as long as you can. Don't get chipped.
Don't get chipped. All right,
Okay.
Kingsley, hurry up and come back. We got to
Yeah.
hear some security stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. We'll
we'll-
put away our tinfoil hats for the moment, and thanks for watching Tech Talk. Hope it was fun. See you later.